Good morning, friends. On top of the morning to you. I was so excited when I was sleeping and I was thinking about this etude that I'm going to play for you, the Wohlfahrt Etude number 1, Opus 45. And I got so excited I couldn't sleep anymore. So I apologize if it's a little bit dark, but at 4:30 in the morning I don't have that much light here. At any rate, I'm going to play this piece for you, then we'll talk about it. So I'll put my violin down for a minute, grab my music. So what makes this a great etude? I'll start with, I think the Opus 45 of Wohlfahrt are the absolute best intermediate etude series, and basically the first etudes that students will ever play. And they're so accessible. There are 60 etudes in the series, and the first 30 are all first position, and then from 31 to 60 it goes nuts. But usually first, second, and third position, but it gets increasingly complicated. But the first 30 are a fantastic introduction to what etudes are and should be. And this first one is particularly wonderful. It introduces right off the bat the idea of a perpetual motion. And that is, we're going to have the same rhythm all the way through the piece. And what that does is Wohlfahrt is setting up some challenges for the left hand, and also a repetitive bowing in the right hand that just keeps going, so that part of my brain said, oh, I'm just going to do this bowing. And there's going to be a number of etudes where he establishes a certain bowing, and you keep doing that bowing always through and through the piece. And so that part of the brain is being developed. It's almost like a pianist who develops the ability to, something I never could do, control two hands and doing two things differently. Okay, the other thing that's wonderful about this first etude is you're playing in what we call first position, and you're playing every single finger on every single string, from the G string all the way to the E string, including fourth finger B on the E string. And so you're getting the full range across 4 strings, which is fairly unusual in a short piece. I don't know how long that took me to play, maybe 1 minute, I don't know. And then he's got many opportunities, as I'm going through, many opportunities to hold fingers down. And this is a really important technique on especially beginning violin and intermediate violin. As I played the piece through, I had the sense, of course, I'm holding the first finger down whenever possible. But I also had the sense many times I was holding the second finger down also. So those 2 fingers holding the first and second down where it's possible. And it's pretty clear through the piece where you could see you can hold fingers down. I especially love 2 little motifs that he uses. Let me grab my violin. Very unusual motifs. On the second line, and I'm using the Schirmer edition, many people do, I think it's a very nice edition, very inexpensive. On the second line, at the end of the first bar, we have an open E, It's very pretty unusual shape of the hand that, have it's a half step to the F natural, but then the four fingers go down whole step. So I also like, at this point, I should mention, I really like to change the fingering that's in the part. It's an open E string. And for most students, that's fine. And it's okay, practice it like that. But also, go ahead and practice it with a fourth finger. So I'm going to play like this. Now at this point, I rotate my elbow and reach for the fourth finger. There's two things there. Of course, you're getting good practice with that anticipation of elbow, which I am just all over it. That is so important to develop this technique so that you're anticipating elbow. We use it so often. But so notice it's also, this is quite a difficult one from F natural to E. It's quite a long way to go up there. Good, very good practice. I'll play it again. See, very smooth. So that's a wonderful, wonderful technique to practice. But like I say, if you're a young player and that fourth finger stretch is difficult, just play it open. That's fine. Then on the third line, I notice we have this very interesting two-bar pattern that actually repeats twice. It starts out with CB. Now, I find that a number of students have a tendency to use a piano type technique where they're playing 3, 2, 3, 2, I'll exaggerate, 3, 2, 3, 2, lifting fingers. That's not what we do on violin. On violin, when we have the C and we put the B, we leave the second finger down, so it's much, much easier to play. So then, that's one very good pattern that Wohlfahrt puts in there to establish. And then the second measure is a little arpeggio. Now you notice as I play this arpeggio, I'm holding the first finger down, keeping it down. Down. Now I put the second finger down. I'm going to hold that down as I play the 4. And even as I have the first and second down, even as I now play the 3. Everything's still down, and then I'm going back to the G string for the C, and that's where I release the second finger and actually hold the first finger down. I continue going. So actually, I'm going to hold I see marked in my part, this is starting in the third line in the second bar. I have my first finger down, and I'm going to not move that first finger for one, including that is the first bar, second, 3, 4, 5 bars. I'm actually leaving the first finger down. Let me demonstrate that. Let's say I have the first finger down. I'm playing the C. Now this is the second bar of the third line. So first finger still down. First finger still down. Matter of fact, if I play a fourth finger, which is kind of nice to play a fourth finger there. Lots of times when I'm playing these fourth fingers, you'll notice the fourth finger comes on a down bow. It's very, very comfortable. So I've had my first finger down all that way, and now for that first finger A on the G string, I move the first finger over. So that's an example. We have another example of that same type of thing on the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth line down. In the first bar, we're playing starting on C, and I'm playing an F natural at this point. I'm going to hold the first finger down now for 3 bars. Till there, and actually one more note, and then I move it for the B natural over, hold it down, move the first finger back, move the first finger out, and then we're home free on this. And again, you notice I'm going to hold that first finger down, move it here, second finger's down while I'm doing this, and there's Now here again, at this point, now I'm just about to play the last line of the Etude. I still have my first finger down, and then I'm playing. Haven't moved my first finger for that whole last line until this point when I play the open G. And I finish the Etude with, it's not marked in the part, but certainly from a musical standpoint, it's nice to make a little retard. And if you know how to vibrato, you can do a little vibrato at the end. The piece is marked Allegro Moderato, which is moderato. It's kind of the catch-all. Not too fast, not too slow, whatever the heck you want to do. But his intent was not for you to practice the piece, adagio or whatever. It's very fluent. And you could, I would say start playing it at a very, very moderate tempo, just so you have a chance to think about holding these fingers down. Now, just to clear it up, how do I start the piece? I'm certainly not going to be doing that kind of thing. I want to have a feeling of the violin, of the string. So I'm just going to put my first finger down, and then from my first finger, I build my second finger a half step above, and then I put the bow on the string, and I'm ready to go. The other little aspect I want to mention that's very valuable about a piece like this, the way Wohlfahrt has written it, is he has offered a number of different Boeing variations at the top, at least in the Schirmer edition they're here. And they're very good. And I want to tell you, there's a total of 14 on this list. And the ones that I feel are valuable, based on many, many years of playing, and which Boeings are really valuable that we find in symphonies like, right off the top of my head, Tchaikovsky symphonies and quartets and even various, not so much in the solo concertos, but a few. All right, so it'd be number 2, 3, 5, and 6. Those four are primary, that you can apply them to the Etude. And you could either play the whole Etude or just a couple of lines to get the feeling. For example, number 2 is too slurred, too separate, so that the first part of the bar starts down, second part starts up. And you go through the whole piece like that. And again, here we are. Wohlfahrt's having you deal with certain things in the left hand. At the same time, the other part of your brain is taking care of the bowing. And that's a really, really important thing to develop. So that one. And number 3, it's hard for me to see. Sorry, it's a little dark here. Yeah, number 3 is okay. Okay, and number 5, very simple one. And number 6, 1 bar to a bow. Some of these bowings also allow for different musical expression, so make note of that and allow that to happen. I wasn't even conscious, but suddenly I'm playing that one bar to a bow. And I suddenly find myself wanting to go a little slower and be expressive, do a little vibrato on these notes. So that's really fun, extra little dimensions that you get when you change bowings. Gives you some idea of how the bowing and especially dynamics are so expressive on a violin. Now, number 14 of these is a good exercise. I'm not particularly crazy about this. If I were to practice that, I would say practice it slow. And also, I might actually suggest a variation on number 14, which would be, I don't know why, but they used to call it a shoe shine exercise where instead of playing hook, down, down, up, up, we would play up. So I'm playing up, down, up, down. It's a nice little exercise. I don't know how valuable it is. I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head, any famous piece of music that we use that technique. But so that's why I leave number 14 as totally optional, not that important. So okay, I think that's about all I have to say about this etude. I think it's a wonderful piece and certainly a great etude and a lot of fun to practice. It's after all my years of playing violin, it's just pure fun and so amazing the techniques that Wohlfahrt has included in this. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I always forget to tell me my name is Bernard. Better late than never. So anyhow, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope to also have a wonderful day, since it's not even 5 in the morning yet. See you later.